Welcome to the Comicstorian channel. Today we're going to be covering Venom 11 and 12. To give you a quick recap, in our last video we learned about Eddie's dark past about when he was younger, about when he killed a child while intoxicated and his father Carl covered it up. It was the beginning of the hatred that Carl felt for Eddie, which also led to Carl beating Eddie's half-brother Dylan. But just when things couldn't get any worse, the Maker, an alternate reality version of Reed Richards who's evil, captured Eddie while he was passed out and informed Dylan that his older brother is riddled with all kinds of cancer. If you're wondering where you are, this is the Comicstorian channel, where we take your favorite lore within comic books, video games, and movies, and we break them down into audio dramas, allowing you to keep up with your favorite pop culture icons. I hope you enjoy. But let's begin Venom issue 11. As young Eddie is sitting in the waiting room waiting to hear what's going on, he hears a voice calling out to him. He looks around to see his sister Mary, and she tells him that he can't ignore this forever. She knows that he's scared, but he's not alone. The two walk through, and before Eddie is his dying Uncle Dan. Dan coughs, telling him it's okay. Old Uncle Dan isn't gonna hurt them. Eddie shakes his head, reverting back to his older self, telling him no, this isn't real. What's wrong with me? Mary's eyes turn black, and she tells him, you already know what's wrong with you. You're infected with the abyss. Eddie shouts, no, this isn't how I remember it. Uncle Dan was sick with cancer, but it wasn't like this. Carl reaches out, telling him, it's okay. We're gonna take care of you. We are family. Eddie pulls away, no, this is all wrong. What the hell is going on? Where am I? Outside of Eddie's own mind, Dylan asks, is Eddie okay? And the Maker tells him, no, of course not. He has cancer, I think. However, it's hard to tell since he's encased by an alien life form in some sort of stasis cocoon. The problem that we're currently facing is to properly assess Eddie's situation, the symbiote must be removed, which in all likelihood would kill him. So to find out what's going to kill him, we have to risk killing him. Quite ironic, isn't it? But alas, such is the burden of science. Dylan runs out of the room shouting for help, and across the hall, Carl tries pushing his way through the guards, calling out to Dylan. Dylan sees Carl frantically trying to get to him, and Dylan, he runs the other way. Back inside of Eddie's mind, though, Eddie is swept up by a whirlwind of darkness, screaming for it to stop when suddenly it does. Eddie looks around to find himself in a church, and he asks, where is he? Mary steps out, telling him, come on, surely you haven't forgotten this place. This is where you were born. Eddie lifts his hand, feeling the weight of a gun, and Mary asks, why did you come here? He was gonna end it. He lost everything. He's dying. He had cancer. And Mary tells him, that's awful, but why here? And why didn't you die? Eddie looks around, stating that, I came to say goodbye to God. You know why I didn't. Fangs begin to grow out of Mary's mouth as she spits the black liquid down on Eddie. He screams out in pain as it burns. And Mary tells him that it's okay. There is no birth without screaming. Let it become you. Let us heal you. Eddie stands back wearing the Venom suit, and Mary goes on stating, you don't ever have to be scared. You don't ever have to be alone. Eddie screams out again, and there's an explosion as the suit separates off of him. And then he opens up his eyes, and he can feel the immense pain as the Maker tries to remove Venom off of his body. Venom shrieks in pain, and the Maker tells him it won't stop until he lets go. And not a moment before, Eddie passes back out, seeing himself. But this time, the link between him and Venom is gone, and he can see all of it, all the lies, all the truth. Mary wasn't there because there never was a Mary. They put her in his head, made him love her, but why? Why would Venom have done that? Why would Venom have manipulated his memories? Mary starts to reform, telling Eddie that he needs to calm down. He's very sick, and Eddie shouts, asking, am I? And Mary says, yes, the cancer, it's returned, and Eddie yells, stop lying to me. You showed me this image of my uncle dying of cancer, but it was also a lie. I never watched him die. What are you doing to me? Why are you doing this to us? Why did you put these things in my head? I thought we were beyond this, Venom. I thought you loved me. Venom slowly forms, reaching out, stating, it was the only way to make you stay. We need you, Eddie. Eddie begins to pull back when he sees Venom's face, and Venom calls out to him, stating, no, you don't understand. We were weak. We were hurt. Just reconnect. Do not hurt us like this. We can make it all go away. Eddie turns, telling himself, I have a sister who didn't exist die of cancer, and an uncle who was never there die of cancer. And that night in the church, I was gonna kill myself because I had cancer. But it's not real, is it? Just memories that you put there to scare me, to keep me coming back to you. There was never a cancer. It was always you, Venom. You made me think that I was rotting away every time I wanted to leave. You altered my body to make the test results read that I was dying of cancer, all so that I would need you. Venom pleads, stating, "We were scared! We were always scared! We cannot be separated, Eddie." Eddie shouts, asking why? Venom tells him, "Because of you! Because of what you really are! Because of..." And Eddie realizes the truth. Dylan. Eddie opens his eyes, telling the Maker to let him go. And the Maker tells him that if he removes the containment field, the symbiote would just reattach itself. If he removes the symbiote, it would likely kill him. What should he do? Eddie tells him, "I need to get the hell out of here. I need to get Dylan before it's too late." And the Maker asks, "Why are you so upset? I'm sure your little brother is going to be perfectly fine." But Eddie stops him. "Dylan is not my brother. He's my son." Eddie begins to kick the containment field, and the Maker says, "You may not want to do that. Your vitals are spiking in the wrong direction, Edward." Images of Mary appear again, telling him not to do this. "Stay with us!" And Eddie yells, "No! You lied to me. You manipulated me. You made me sick. Made me weak. No more Venom. Turn it up." Maker types away at the controls, telling him, "Very well." As the containment field intensifies, Venom bashes himself against the walls until he finally breaks free, causing a massive explosion in the operating room. Meanwhile, on the highway, Carl and Dylan drive home, and Carl says that he can't keep doing this. He can't run away. He's sorry for losing his temper, but this is a difficult situation. Eddie used to do that, and they both know that he is not a good person. Dylan looks out the window, stating that at least Eddie was honest with who he was and doesn't. But Carl raises his hand, shouting, "Enough!" Just then, there's a loud boom as the car suddenly stops and Carl's head slams into the steering wheel. Carl asks what the hell was that, and he looks in the mirror to see Venom lifting up the car. Carl gets out of the car yelling that he's gonna call the police but before he could finish, Venom grabs him by the throat, and Carl pleads, Okay, we can work this out. Just don't hurt me, please." Venom begins to seep into Carl, and as everything goes black, Carl sees himself in the same interrogation room that he was in when he was with Eddie all those years ago. Carl asks where is he, and Eddie appears throwing his chair, stating that it's just the two of them now. "Do you remember this room? It was the room where you made me a liar. This is where you made me into what I am today." Carl shouts, "I saved your damn life!" And Eddie tells him, "Oh yeah? I'm doing just fine thanks to you." Carl yells, "You made your own damn choices, and you still ended up in prison. You still ended up hurting people, and on the wrong side of the..." Eddie puts back on the Venom suit, smacking the table, screaming. He slams Carl into the wall, stating that he doesn't get to judge him. He knows what he is. He knows that he's messed up, that he's not good, but he's working on it. Every day he's trying to make his life better, to do better. He's not going to let him hurt that child anymore. He's not gonna hurt his son. Carl scoffs, "Haha, it's about time. Dylan was already like you." Eddie tells him, "No, he's not. Not yet." And Carl sighs, "You was such a good boy. Went to church, helped people, and then, do you even believe in God anymore, Eddie?" Eddie tells him, "I met God once. He's a real... never mind. Listen, I didn't bring you here to make nice. This isn't me asking for forgiveness or making amends. I'm taking Dylan. And if I ever see you around Dylan, I will kill you. Is that understood?" Carl nods, telling him, "Yeah." And Eddie tells him, "Good. Now when you wake up, you're gonna be alone. And then you're going to stay that way for the rest of your life." Carl gasps as he wakes in the desert. And as he stands, he says, "Eddie, oh God, I'm so sorry, Eddie." Back at the hospital, Venom sets Dylan down, and as he turns to leave, Dylan asks, "Where are you going? Are you leaving him? Why won't you talk to Eddie?" Venom tries to get the words out. "Trying to be better. Make both of you better without me." Dylan asks by both? What do you mean? And that's when Dylan hears coughing from the operating room. He runs in to find Eddie, still lying on the floor, and when he touches Eddie, Eddie asks, "Ugh, what just happened? I tried to." And Dylan tells him, "It got out, but it saved me. It left." Where did Venom go? Outside the city, Venom walks down the sidewalk, but before anyone could see him, he blends in, losing himself within the crowd. And there you have it. The truth about Venom. Venom is actually the cancer for Eddie. It's a very abusive relationship, Eddie and Venom, and how will they come back from this? How will Venom make amends? Well, we'll have to find out later, because after this comic, we went into the War of the Realms, where Eddie and Venom each had to battle their own villains, their own darknesses. And if you subscribe to this channel, we'll be bringing you Venom War of the Realms next week or the immediate week after. Our schedule's a little not finalized at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, but what do you think of this change? Because this whole Venom and Eddie abusive relationship actually caused a lot of controversy on the internet, as people didn't like this direction that Donny Cates was taking Venom. I want to know your opinions down below, and don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian.